Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, Old God, from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam Ant, Viral Hip Hop News. We're in the building. It's the Thursday edition of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's good, man? Yes, indeed, another Thursday edition of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, the most underrated, underappreciated podcast in the world. But we in the building today to talk about your favorite stories in hip hop and all around the world. I'm definitely excited to be in the building. Everybody listening on YouTube, as always, I need y'all to do us two favors. Go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. Sam, man, what's good with you today, bro?
Well, man, as always, it's good to be in the building for another episode. Like we were saying, we've been here 7 days a week. Don't play with us because we probably might be very soon. But we love to do what we do for the people. Had a dynamic surprise show yesterday for the people. We're really excited to come back in here, talk about a little bit what we talked about and expounded on yesterday, as well as a number of great issues and topics this evening. Feels real good, man. But how was your day, man?
Oh, man, beautiful day, man. Beautiful day. You know, always good when it culminates and coming to the Uncensored Truth Podcast and doing our thing here. I live for this shit, man. So
yeah, in fact, man. And I dropped a little something on the social media pages today. We're looking for interns. We're looking for people who are excited, who want to get involved with two major companies in this brand, Viral Hip Hop News and Hip Hop News Uncensored. Of course, together we have the Uncensored Truth Podcast. If you're in college, if you're out of college, if you have specialties in coding, web design, sound engineering, video camera editing, video camera work, go ahead and email either one of us, oldguy@hiphopun.com, or myself, Sam Ant, DLS Media Inc. 1@gmail.com for further information on that. We're very serious. 2019, we're not playing. We're taking over, but we rather have the results speak for themselves.
Facts.
That's what we do over here, man. So you guys stay tuned for that. If you want any more information, go ahead and email us. But yeah, man, let's get right to it, man. What we got first on the ticket this evening?
Yeah, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my man. My man AC7 Apparel. He sent us the CEO, hats y'all can see right there in the screen, cash executive order. I'm going to leave his link, for his clothing and apparel company right in the description box right below. So make sure I go show him some love. We appreciate, you for that kind gesture, for sending us, the apparel. Also the little, the winter hat. Sam Ant got one as well over there. He sent us, appreciate that. AC7 Apparel. Y'all see what it is. Go support this young brother doing, his thing, out there. If y'all want to send us stuff too, hit me up at oldgod@hiphopun.com, and I'll let you know where you can send, me and Sam Matt, some stuff that we can wear, on the podcast.
Because we'd much rather do that. We're trying to sit there and promote young business people out here that want to promote their brands. We'd rather do that than these other clothes. We're not getting money from the Jordans and the polos and the various other clothing that we like to wear throughout our day. So we'd rather promote you and get some money in your pocket. That's what we have to do out here, support our own. So we, like Old Guy said, drop them an email, send the stuff, we'll wear it, support your brand, man, for sure. Yeah, let's get right to it. Yeah, man, definitely. Yesterday, man, actually we were doing our little emergency, surprise podcast, last night. It came across the ticker that Tekashi 69, TMZ actually reported that Tekashi 69 told investigators that Mackenzie, aka Kuda, was the one behind the paid $10,000, to shoot Chief Keef. Everybody now is running with this whole narrative that he is a snitch, but now everybody's asking for paperwork at this point, Sam, man. So my question, will first be, as media, first let's start with TMZ. Should we believe that TMZ's source is credible at this, juncture? Because we know TMZ has been wrong a lot of times before with things. A lot of people are now scrutinizing media outlets saying there's no paperwork on 69. He didn't really snitch. They trying to get him killed, et cetera, et cetera. What do you feel about that, TMZ? When it comes to TMZ and their distribution of content and information in media, and it gets to the masses faster than anything, it comes first usually. Everyone kind of bases their information off of what TMZ just provided. Can't trust everything they hear. I'll give you a prime example. I'm scrolling through Instagram today. Apparently they said that Offset and Cardi B were back together. Cardi B immediately responded, said, y'all lying. I ain't been in Atlanta in forever, blah, 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 blah. We can't be naive to the fact and think that they create certain headlines to gain attention. 6ix9ine is going to gain a hell of a lot of attention if somebody in his camp happen to get caught up and indicted and put in jail. They could create a real nice headline. And is it too far-fetched to say that they do so? Yesterday, in reporting the headlines that we heard, we put content to the headline that we heard. By no means or no stretch of the imagination that we call him a snitch or rat. We said it's crazy if he did it. We talked about the fact that a lot of people expected him to do it when he initially went in. There was a saga going on. Do we blame him? We went through everything that we continually went through in the context of this particular topic involving 6ix9ine. So yes, you have to be 100% careful in any media that you hear, and you have to break down your own truth and maybe do your own research. But do you necessarily need paperwork? I want you to expound on that, because you were speaking in the pre-production on how basically missed me with the paperwork shit at times. So talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's one aspect. But we know, for first and foremost, we know that Shotty, and 2 other people, were indicted. And now what they're pretty much saying is that as soon as the feds got finished talking to him, they got indicted. So that's the reason why they're saying that 6ix9ine snitch. Now, you don't always need paperwork, obviously, to be a snitch. You can tip somebody off and tell them a certain thing and say, oh, I saw, a black BMW 6 Series going this way. So that leads to the capture of. So who knows? I mean, it could have been a text message, could have been a phone call. We seen they had the evidence, with him supposedly the hit on a guy, I think Tadu, who Chief Keef's cousin. They had that. So they had a lot of stuff they said on wiretap. So whatever the case may be, it looks like that is going to be a downhill effect from here, and that this brother it's not confirmed, may be just telling on everybody. Who knows at this point? You know what I mean? But I do, in his defense, because we're thorough over here, I want to play with his lawyer. Lance Lazaro actually left a statement late yesterday that made his way through the media. So I want to play that and hear what he actually had to say, about the accusation of his client 6ix9ine snitching.
At Lawyer for Workers checking in. It is cold and windy in New York, boy. Checking in on the 6ix9ine case. TMZ reporting that 3 people have been arrested in the shooting of Chief Keef, and that the person who cooperated with the government, the person who gave the information leading to those arrests, is Tekashi 69. They're calling 6ix9ine a snitch. Listen, I don't believe that report for not 1 second. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. It doesn't make any sense. Shit don't add up. The feds, the theory is that 6ix9ine is the ringleader, right? That's why they brought the RICO charges against him, that he's the ringleader. They're saying that he ordered the hit. Now, the person who orders the hit, he's not the guy who gets the deal. You don't get to make a deal like that, all right? If anything, the shooter gets the deal. You don't make a deal with the kingpin. That doesn't make any sense. So if their theory is he's the guy who ordered the hit and now they're giving him a deal, that doesn't make the feds look good. So I don't believe it. That don't add up. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Stay tuned. The case is definitely getting interesting, though.
Yeah, this dude, man, dude is really, to me, in my opinion, silly, for some of the things that, he's saying. And we've seen plenty of kingpins who snitched, plenty of kingpins who cooperated, with authorities. So that doesn't mean anything like that. But I think that of course, we don't know 100% if he did. But right now, it's starting to look like that. All of a sudden now, all these dudes that you was running with now, dudes are starting to get, more and more charges put on them from shootings and different things like that. I don't know how they find out all this stuff, man.
Well, first off, let me respond to that clown that we just heard, man. And I've called him a clown throughout. Right. Anytime he gets on social media and talks, I call him a clown. Now, first off, am I ignorant to say, how are you guessing? You don't know that aren't you his lawyer?
That's a good,
what?
Yeah.
Who
Crazy.
Are you? Or are you just a commentator for this whole situation? You have no fucking idea. You just out here talking. Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
You need to put your credentials up here, please, because you sound stupid every time you talk for 6ix9ine. Either you know or you don't, being a part of his legal team, what happened. And in any event, shut the fuck up, because it's nobody's business out here on social media if you're sitting here trying to get this man out of jail. What are you talking on social media for?
Right.
Like reckless, like you sitting here like a fan. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. In regards to 6ix9ine, I said it on the podcast yesterday how this is a crazy situation. This is wild. But I never said that I think 6ix9ine told. There's a lot of speculation going on whether it was shoddy. You said that you heard numerous things on YouTube. We heard numerous things. I'm not putting blame on anybody right now, because it's all real odd to me how information is being disseminated. Mm-hmm. Now, we're seeing people getting caught up. We're seeing people get grabbed. Absolutely. But that's all we know. is that we see people getting caught up and people getting grabbed. There's multiple people in jail right now. There's multiple people sitting behind bars. We don't know what them feds are doing in interrogation and talking. We don't know what kind of numbers are being thrown. We really don't know. So before we jump to any real conclusion, and I'm not saying you are, we're off the top like anybody else, but we're going to give it a 360-degree turn to it. We just got to, I want to wait and see more before I sit there and go, he's a rat, he's a snitch. Because that's the easy way to go right now. Yeah, he did it. But until we really know, and I don't know if that even has to come with paperwork. I don't know.
Well, I mean, most people, you know, will say you need paperwork that somebody actually, you know, said, look, I identified this person as, you know, the person who did it. I admitted it, that they did it. That's what they're saying a snitch is in this, you know, instant. TMZ, you know, they've been wrong before. You know what I mean? Obviously. So, you know, that kind of is what it is with that.
They've been on top of this situation, and they seem to run with any story that they grab. Now, they said sources tell them. I would love to hear if they have a response to the situation or expound upon the sources. We'll see, man. This is another development. Trial is until September, if I'm not mistaken. So still has a long time to go. 9 months. Still got a long way to go. So yeah, I'm sure we'll hear multiple headlines.
And what I was saying in the comment section, as far as like people, and I definitely could believe this, like media outlets like TMZ, they're always fishing for information. They got people that they, you know, that pay for information. So, I mean, I remember, I think the Rick Ross situation, they were wrong about that. So they could definitely be wrong, or they could be right, you know, about this. He could be, you know, giving up information, and it just looks suspicious. You know, the guys you were running with, now 3 of them are going down after the feds had a conversation with. It just looks funny. That's what people, you know, the conclusion people, you know, are coming to at this point. But in due time, the information, you know, will be made readily, you know, available.
And we will see what happens, and we'll be right on it, because we have a job to do in providing information, whether that be popular to some people or not. We're going to go ahead and be objective about the situation. We heard what happened, whether it be true or not. We're going to provide context to it. We're not going to jump to conclusions. We're not going to jump and try to steer a narrative. We're going to remain objective to the context, but we are going to provide it. That's what we got to do here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman, going in today on this Thursday afternoon. If you're listening on YouTube, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, man, I'm going to talk about this next one right here. Diddy, you know, left an interesting, you know, powerful statement on his Instagram the other day. I want to play this clip and then talk about, you know, what Diddy said right here. Not a long clip, so here we go.
Oh. To do it has to be done to make a difference. And that definitely starts with economic inclusion. It starts with the money. We control what's hot out here. We are fashion. We are music. We are sports. We are lifestyle. We are the story. We the shit. We don't own enough shit. It's going to take us supporting each other in any way possible. It ain't even as hard. We the originals, baby. We had all this thing built, figured out, and somewhere we got lost. Now it's time for us to turn back into our majesticness.
All right, so that's Diddy, you know, sitting there. I wish I had more, you know, of that. I hate those little small clips like that, but he was on to something, you know, they're obviously saying all the right things, you know. Yeah, I can agree. I don't want to really be critical, you know, of Diddy in this particular one, you know. Maybe as in rap in general, we could talk about that, but I think, you know, at least saying all the right things. And Diddy's, you know, he's done a lot of things as far as his business, made a lot of strides, you know, as far as for the community, you know, that's another question. But, you know, what do you think about, you know, Diddy's statement, you know, saying that we really need to, you know, own more things?
I think the initial reasoning in him speaking on it was whole Jesse Smollett situation. We all know what would happen to him or allegedly happened to him. Shit, we don't know. And that kind of motivated him to speak on ownership. And you want real change out here in the world amongst the oppression, amongst the racism. It starts with ownership, and we don't have enough ownership, which we talk about here day by day on the Uncensored Truth podcast. We pride ourselves in being self-made entrepreneurs, ownership of our own brands, and expounding on these brands, providing jobs and opportunities for different people in a growing and expanding business. It's very exciting to do. It's something that we've always dreamt in doing, and it's very liberating in doing so. And you have somebody like Diddy, who's a tycoon, an entrepreneur, mogul, and us being able to kind of personally watch his journey from being in Howard to going into his first job and being fired in there, then grabbing Biggie and starting Bad Boy, and him and Mace. And we watched the whole shit go right in front of our eyes, and to see where he's at today, it's very inspiring to see. Even though, like we said, we know we could get on him, but we won't get on him today. It's obvious, man. We need more ownership. We need more economic control out here. And you and I talked about it and alluded to it. This isn't the end all be all. There's other avenues once you start gaining some kind of capital that you need to start expounding on and learning from people in order to really take your money to a whole nother level. I was hearing a lot of great business conversations today, just listening throughout my day. And a lot of people were talking about, you hear real estate, you hear buying back into your community, various avenues and various ways to expound on your capital, but also help the people around you and provide back into that. And it's just all inspiring. And this is what Diddy's original and overall premise, I believe, is saying. It starts with a plan. We have to educate ourselves. We got to get savvy when it comes to real estate, savvy when it comes to accounting, savvy when it comes to taxes, so that we have a plan to really start and taking over for our own, because it's not as difficult as people think. It just involves real, just detailed work.
But what do you say to the people, though, who want to sit back? Because Diddy always gets the criticism. And he's been one of the moguls where you had like a laundry list of, artists that said Diddy plain ripped them off. What do you say to that? That criticism that comes, because it's easy for us to say that after we done, stole and ripped everybody off. And not to say that he did it. Those are the accusations that's out there. And we see all these, different rappers that attach themselves, to different liquor brands, Ciroc, that, it's a business, we understand, but ultimately, how is this benefiting people? But Diddy, and it's, you get drunk and stuff like that, but you got to drink responsibly, and nobody's forcing you to drink. But ultimately, what I'm getting at is, like, people could talk and say anything, but what are they really doing, with what they have? You know what I'm saying?
But Diddy also has a charter school in New York, which is more than other people got.
Yeah, but charter school, you're damn near billionaire. This is school.
I'm not putting anything on it. I'm just saying he's doing more than others right now. No, I completely agree with you. When it comes to him probably taking a lot of people for their money in the music industry, you got to chalk that up to the evils and devils of the music industry. But what I will say is there needs to be more diversity in Revolt TV. There needs to be a lot more of us influencing within Revolt TV. Now, you say we need ownership. We need economic ownership. That starts with the ground up. We're talking about getting interns. You get a solid body of interns and you build them up into getting into real great positions. And then you put them in executive positions and put them in a situation where they can go and expound that and put their people in position and bop, 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 and you just build something. When you look at a Revolt TV, the idea is phenomenal. It's something that could really take over and revolutionize. They had the show, which I forgot already now because they poorly marketed that one with Joe Budden and Remy Ma. Yeah. And that was really about it. And we gave criticism to Revolt before, but then you look at the CEO of Revolt, a woman who has been criticized for being scared of black women, being just, what is the word I'm looking for? Being intimidated by black women. And then you look at the diversity that goes through Revolt. It's not a lot. That's a lot of the criticism. They're not up to the ideals. This is where Diddy needs to control, because media is what controls the masses.
Thank you.
It's what controls the masses. So you want some change? You got it right here. Get into people's ear.
Yeah, and it's like they just, they satisfied, it seems like, with just, having a banner on a Breakfast Club, a Revolt banner or a Mike flag. And they're not, I guess, you could say, oh, what do you have? And look what Diddy has. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about that Diddy, then, really put your money where your mouth is and invest in, the things that are really going to see, the community, flourish, not liquor, not necessarily, nothing wrong with clothes and, but liquor, come on, man. You know what I mean?
You have an issue with the whole liquor thing. You don't like the liquor.
I mean, it's just like, it's hypocritical, man. It's hypocritical. Not that, everybody has their drink, but all these different, they talk about, being independent. Why did you, go get a liquor company to go against your people? Not to necessarily go against your people, but to put more poison in the community. Why didn't you do something else? You know what I'm saying? Is my question.
No, I understand what you're saying.
And maybe that's the only, maybe that's the only thing that they had. But if you're really talking about, and even with Dame Dash, another one, I think they have, I forget the name of the liquor, Armadale Vodka, they did the same thing. These are questions I want to ask these guys. Like, if you were really about the community, why go that route? There was no conscience. It was like, yo, damn, I don't really want to, put, poisonous, contribute to putting poisonous substance in my people. They already, bad. No different than drugs. Really, if you think about it, I mean,
no, alcohol is probably one of the leading.
That's what I'm saying.
Why worse?
You got to look at it like that. You have to.
No, I hear what you're saying.
But I don't want to be overcritical on this particular episode because I love what he's saying. But maybe that should have been in for another, I want to talk about this a little more if you don't mind. Yeah, no doubt.
Just to get your perspective on it. Because when you see like your Hennessy's and your other drinks, like you said, we all have our drinks of what's popular, in particular in the Black community. What would you say to those that would be a devil's advocate to what you're saying, where they're going to drink it anyway? Would your argument be, well, where are you putting that money that's filtering? Like, what's the next step? Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, my thing is like with Frank Lucas, when he went and got the dope, they're going to do the dope anyway. They locked him up. What's worse, dope or alcohol? We can put both of them on the scale. You know what I mean? But again, not really criticize. I mean, I understand they did what they did, but my thing is, it's not what you do with the money, because the money still, you know what I mean? You're still killing people. If they drinking anyway, you still don't put yourself in there to contribute to that, though, because blood's on your hands is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Period. You know what I mean? Maybe, people could say that it's overcritical, but it just is what it is. Me, I would have a hard time, investing in the liquor company. I just would. I don't care how much money. I just wouldn't. That's something I wouldn't want to really be a part of. You know what I mean? We
have to ask them. I mean, and there's a ton of them. We got 50, you got Jay-Z, you got Diddy, you got Dame, and the list goes on and on.
Right.
So great question.
Yeah, so definitely, man. But yeah, man, you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Oh God and Sandman. Going in today on this Thursday. Everybody listening, please do me a favor, hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, what we got next? Blueface, the Blueface. We're gonna talk about this. Speaking of, record contracts and, people getting jerked. Let's talk about, my man Blueface, who had an interview on the Breakfast Club the other day. And Blueface, we know, is Whack 100 Cash Money West, who was the Game and Ray J's manager's artist. We got to hear this little clip right here from the Breakfast Club, man. Let's talk more about this.
Are you selling Cash Money through Cash Money?
Cash Money West.
Oh, so that is through Birdman. And
all I know is Cash Money West and Whack 100. You gotta ask Whack about the other people involved.
You ever seen your own paperwork?
Nah, I seen it, but Whack showed me. I didn't see the. I signed with Cash Money West. I don't really know about all the.
So Whack runs Cash Money West.
Exactly.
Okay. Blueface gonna be all right. They'll be good. I think he'll be fine.
I'm great.
It's early. It's still early though.
Sandman, what do you think about that? Sandman, what do you think about that? What do you think about, him not really? This is what you think about that, man.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of people clowning this kid right now, and a lot of people that's joking on him right now, because obviously he's in a situation where he's in some deep shit, and I'm not going to do that right now. I feel for this kid. He's 22 years old. He's born in 1997. Damn. Got a crazy buzz, real popular. About to feel like he's changing his life, getting jewelry, getting this, getting that. And now, little does he know, he's in a situation where he's getting robbed of millions and millions of dollars. And it's just the name of the game called the music industry. Whack 100, I don't give a fuck what he told you. He is not holier than thou. He is taking your bread. I don't need to see the contract. I don't need to see the paperwork. If this is your first initial contract in the music industry and you're walking in with an industry level contract, you're getting janked. And you're probably getting dranked in touring. You're probably getting janked in your music. And you're going to come, it might be a year or two from now, where you're going to be complaining about not getting your money. Where's your bread? Meanwhile, we're going to see you with the jewelry. We're going to see you with the money. We're going to see you with the cars. All of that being leased out. All of that being rented. And in a couple years, it's going to be like, where's this kid going that has a real good buzz, whether you like him or not? His style is weird as fuck, but he's getting a buzz. And I just feel for a kid like this at 22, because I wasn't this kid to a certain degree, but I was that 22-year-old who just knowing that my talent thinking that my talent would supersede the business, not understanding that the business always has to come first.
Yeah.
It's painful to see.
Yeah. It's sad. It's definitely sad, and it's like with a business, you look at his reputation. the reputation of Cash Money is not so good when it comes to record contract, even with Diddy, like we just got finished talking about. So I don't understand why people still continue, and not to say anything against Whack 100. You know what I mean? That's a different, extension of, Cash Money, which is, I think, Cash Money West. So yeah, he's young, man. He's young. I don't think, personally, I don't think Wax, you said that's the business. I don't think Whack, was setting him up for failure. I think that Whack wants the best for him. But like you said, the business is the business, and different, percentages are going. And then the fact that he don't even know really what he signed, he's deferring to him, is a bad sign, because you should know what the hell you signed. You should know everything about that contract, and you could tell that he don't know shit about it. That's a bad sign, because that means that if Whack is not 100% honest, then he's gonna be robbing this cat.
He wants his best interest. He's telling him he wants his best interest at heart, because the more his interest is at heart and the more his interest is out here winning, the more money Whack's about to make. That touring, and see, what's going to happen is, and I know it, he's going to go on tour. He's going to think he has bread. He's going to get the jewelry, this and this and this. He's going to get a couple dollars, not realizing that's an advance. You might have to pay that back and go, yo, where's my tour money? Where's my money on my sales? Where's my money on my merch? He's going to realize, nah, you had to pay this right here. Nah, this cost this money. Nah, this studio time cost this. Nah, this bus trip cost this. Nah, remember when I took you to McDonald's, this cost this. Nah, this. And then you come out with this, and this kind of situation can depress an artist so bad to where they don't want to do this shit anymore. And then you look in a situation where 2 or 3 years of buzz independently can put you in a great situation where you can make a ton of money. When you think of Blueface and when he came on the scene and arrived on the scene, do you think of Whack 100? No, I just thought of him. So he got caught. He got hot on his own merit. He didn't have to sign a contract. If people were fucking with your music, you can win on SoundCloud. Most of your rappers that you love today is on SoundCloud. Yeah. So it's just sad to see that, first off, he felt the need to have to sign a contract in 2019, not to have the wherewithal to know what you were signing. And you're in a situation for at least 4 years.
Yeah, it almost seems like when you say record contract, it almost like, should write on your forehead like slave, like really. It is. You know what I mean? Because it's like you first of all, you're going into a situation where you're losing control over a lot of the things that you want to have control over, especially as an artist. You know what I mean? Automatically you lose the control over that. So my thing is, and our thing is, to keep as much control as you can. You know what I mean? And get the money on the back end, but they want the money on the front. The front end, and like you said, get all the little glamorous stuff. And next thing you know, once that stuff, because it's only a temporary joy, wears off, and you owe these companies and stuff like this for stuff you ain't even do yet. Like, you still got it. Just becomes another job, another slavery at that point.
It's sad, and I'm not like I said, I'm not getting on the kid, because if I was 22 years old in this situation with this buzz, do I do the same thing? Probably.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Probably. And so would a lot of the people and the artists out there. They would die to be in this position. And he knows that, but he's not thinking, I wish there was somebody in his circle that would have just made him go, yo, no, you got to read this contract, read what's going on in here, read that section, read this, because there's language in that contract that is robbing him of money.
And my thing is, like, first, were his parents? What relation do his parents have to Whack? Was it just a situation where, Whack just seen this guy, hit him up, and I'm managing you? Like, I would like to know that, to see the nature, of the relationship, because again, Cash Money has, right now, not so good track record of dealing business wise with their artists. Just don't.
Well, in America, 18 is the legal age to do dumb shit. 21 is the legal age to do even dumber shit. So him sitting at 22, not having any sense in the world, probably needing somebody in his corner, but legally allowed to go ahead and make moves on his own. Maybe not even confided, just did his thing. Whack 100 come up to a 22-year-old, say, you're going to sign the Young Money West right now. You take a Drake, Wayne, this, that. You ain't thinking about the motherfuckers asking for money 3-4 years down the line. You signing that contract. So it's sad.
Yeah, man, but Whack gonna be mad at this. But anyway, it is what it is, man. We do what we do.
I'm not worried about Whack.
No doubt. No doubt.
Or anybody else. We work over here. I work out 7 days a week, ready for any situation that needs to come around. We're all good.
We're definitely, man. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Oh God and Sandman. Going in today on this Thursday night. Now, everybody on YouTube, you already know what to do. Hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. Sandman, You were telling me earlier about Lil Wayne apparently suing a former lawyer of his for $20 million.
Well, speak of the goddamn devil, Cash Money owned Lil Wayne. He's suing his former attorney, Ronald Sweeney, for allegedly taking $20 million while he represented Lil Wayne. Sweeney served as Lil Wayne's lawyer from 2005 through September 2018 and charged him 10% for every deal he closed, well beyond the industry standard of 5%, Wayne claims. Now, in addition to charging Wayne for his services, Sweeney allegedly tried to squeeze out more cash by seeking an additional 10% for all profits netted by his Young Money label. What else we got here? Now, Sweeney managed to pull even more funds out of Wayne by enlisting the help of another law firm for an ongoing legal battle with Birdman and Cash Money Records, as well as Universal's music group. The firm allegedly took 23% from the settlement with Cash Money and 15% from the latter settlement. Those percentages were added up onto the 10% Sweeney has already expected. Initial reports indicated that Universal cut a check for well over $10 million, but that amount has never been confirmed. A portion of the information released today is true. A settlement has been reached, but the dollar amount being disclosed is false. Karen Civil wrote. What is your thoughts on that?
Hey, go for Weezy, man. Go back and get all your shit. That's crazy, man. Another example, man. You know, people thinking that people don't have their, you know, their paperwork together or their business mind together, and trying to take advantage of them again. You know what I mean? The same, you know, situation. It's a shame it had to be an attorney, you know, to do this. But
well,
in any industry, you know, you're gonna have, you know, people who are sharks.
Like we talk about a lot off camera, a lot of the things that we say is the most important moves you make when you get into this industry is your lawyer and your publicist. And we see why. When you have a lawyer that can sit here and basically take manager deals on top of your manager, like 10% of every deal broke. So you staring at the contract, telling him this and this and this, and you taking that off the top. God damn, the crooks and savages, and they're all working intertwined. You don't think that this lawyer was sat there and worked with Universal and sat there worked with the higher ups of that music industry, and they all worked that all in together. It's like we ain't gonna get into
right now. We're in a day where it's like self-education.
Yeah,
you know, people can learn about contracts yourself, and not to say that you're going to understand every aspect still and every single thing, but you can get clarity and you can know most of it. So by the time it does go to your attorney, you know, they can't tell you nothing outlandish to try to get anything extra, because you already know, like, look, nah, I didn't really need you to do this. He just my attorney. You know, you can't be charging me nothing crazy. It should be, you know, a relationship like that. But a lot of times these guys are so busy, they're moving and making so much money, they overstep the little things. And I'm glad that he's now going back, you know, to try to recoup, you know, get these monies back, you know, they try to goddamn crooks, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But it is what it is. Like you said, Lil Wayne deserves his money. He's been through a hell of a decade. You see the height that he went through with his music, and then the fall he went through with his negotiation. That's why Blueface needed to really pay attention to situations, but he's young, dumb, and he'll learn. Unfortunately, he's probably gonna learn the hard way. But you see your favorite artists now, hey, we're hot, and now they're asking for money, man. That's just the nature of the game. That's why we must stay independent. You don't need the music industry. We could put them out of effing business by sitting here doing it how we're doing it, or get a lot more control to where they need to feed us money. They're going to have to feed us money. We got more say in our contract. We got more say in our masters. I heard something on Kanye West, and we'll talk about it maybe live tomorrow, as far as getting a little deeper into why he's trying to sue EMI and Rockefeller Records. He's trying to buy himself out of his contract. He's still under contract. He is suing them because apparently the contract has stipulations in it where it's no out. It's a contract that's just everlasting. So how do you get out of that contract? He wants to get out. So it makes a lot more sense, right? As opposed to suing Jay-Z for thinking that he revived his career and shit like that. So as the more information comes out, we'll talk about that. But you don't get into these industries. We need more control over the jewels and the creations that we make. These music and these artworks that are out here changing people's lives and changing people's views on life and doing so much money out here and changing the world, and we don't even have control over it. It's fucked up, man. We need more control.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, that's why, you know, people like we have in our corner, and people, you know, who know about the industry, you know what I mean, and can give you, you know, game from a young age. Mentor pretty much is so important nowadays for us children. That's why it was even important for brothers to have schools, you know, that's supposed to be building schools, because these are the things that you can teach them that they might not get in the regular public school system. You can inculcate your own, curriculum. So, maybe one day we have to open up a school or some shit and teach, kids, business school. We can teach, kids to do, how to do the right thing. I remember Consu was kind of saying, to talk about the independent thing a little more, and it makes perfect sense. You get your buzz hot, and next thing and a good example was Fatboy SSE. But even though he's not particularly an artist, but the example is still relevant. You get your buzz hot on the internet, and now people, let's say New York, LA, Texas, all the big cities, you go to the little clubs, you get the bags, and it continues to us worldwide, to us international, and you keep all that money in-house. All your production, everything that you do, you get the money off the top. You let YouTube pay you, let Instagram pay you. You charge people to market your, on your page and stuff like that. That way, you don't get, tied up. That's just one example like that. And the same thing goes, with music. You can make your own buzz and have people paying you for features, have people paying you directly for your merchandise, and have people, paying to come out and do shows. If your buzz gets big enough, you can get a big bag.
Well, you got like a Fatboy SSE and even a DC Young Fly who got the fucking floodgates open. You got the comedy going. They going on movie shows. Both of them got albums out. DC Young Fly sings. Motherfuckers didn't know that. He got an R&B album out. Fatboy rapping. The floodgates open up. You could do whatever you want. And this is what we're doing. We're opening the floodgates to do whatever we want. This is the beauty of the game. And then once you gain this power, it's what you do with it. There's responsibility behind it. And this is why I also thank you for bringing up Fatboy SSE, because a lot of the stuff that got him hot, a little bit of the buffoonery, let's keep it real, it's a lot less of that now. He's on here talking. He's being motivating. He's getting behind the scenes. He's trying to get healthier. He took it where he needed to go to get to an ultimate goal, and now he's elevating and evolving, and I like to see that. DC Young Fly the same way, a little bit buffoonery at first. He got to the people, now he's elevating. Got his own podcast, went and doing the thing on Wild Out, got a comedy tour, got an album. Got to applaud brothers like that.
I don't even see that guy. I don't barely even see any of his videos anymore. It's crazy. Fatboy
winning.
He winning, and shout out to him. Jersey, and I like that blueprint. It's a lot of people, even us, taking the blueprint of straight up independence, doing it our way and bringing people on for the ride, building our own team, for that we may, take over in our prospective industry. So, you can do it. You could do it. You don't have to necessarily like Sandman or anybody. He could have went to BET or XXL and got a job there and made $100,000 a year and thought he was on top of the world. Or he can build not only one, but 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 businesses, and become a millionaire. Or you could stay on the damn job and be a thousandaire. It's up to you.
And you can't knock anybody for going in and getting an honest living, but I've done both.
Nah, definitely not.
I've clocked in. I've had somebody that I know can't hold my talent in my pinky, telling me what to do, and I couldn't fuck with it. And I've done this for a lot less time, and I know that there is no comparison.
That's definitely
none.
Definitely.
None. Ownership is like no other. I'd rather be handing out W-2s as opposed to be accepting them and going and excited about the tax man. I want to be mad around this time. That internally is a good feeling. I don't want to be happy to get the $1,000 tax return. I want to hand somebody a W-2 and have them happy. That's a better feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely, man. So the journey definitely continues, man. But we're gonna definitely do stuff like this and talk about this type of subjects, all the time. So man, another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I know we got one more.
Nah, we're good, bro. Let's rock.
All right, no doubt. Once again, before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to my man AC7 Clothing Apparel. He gave us these wonderful hats right here. CEO Cash Executive Orders. That's right, we CEOs in here, independent. That's all we preach all day long. So that's all I got. Also, I want to say to go to hiphopun.com, hiphop.un.com for all your latest hip hop news. Shout out to my man Brian over there. Writing some great articles and whatnot. We be moving over there too, bringing some more people on. So that's a real dope, good feeling, man. Definitely.
Indeed. Shout out to the people and the staff over at hiphopun.com. Shout out to God, CEO of hiphopun.com. We're expanding the business over here at the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Viral Hip Hop News is also looking for interns. Hip Hop News Uncensored is looking for interns. We're expounding the business. We got some incredible things going on in 2019. If you're web design, coding, video, cinematography, sound engineering, music, you name it, drop an email to ogod@hiphopun.com or myself, Sam Ant, at DLSmedia, INC, the number 1 at gmail.com for further information. Come aboard, man. This thing is everlasting. This is like if Sony, if Def Jam, if Rockefeller, if Universal came to you and said you can intern at them and possibly get a position, executive position sometime down the road at their company, would you jump on the opportunity? Go ahead. Don't waste it. Don't miss the opportunity. Email us for further information, man. That's all I got, brother, man.
Yeah, man. With that being said, another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast is in the book. We out of here. Peace.